Hey everybody, Motopoet59 here, talking a little bit about the Britney Griner, Vicktor Bout prisoner exchange. Almost everyone in America now knows who Britney Griner is. Virtually no one in America knew who she was before she was arrested for taking drugs into Russia. Some of the conservative websites tried to make it sound like she was smuggling drugs in. She had cannabis vapes for personal use. I don't like Britney Griner. I'd never heard of her before this either, but I don't like her, and not because she, you want to get high, whatever. I don't care, none of my business. But the reason I don't like her is because she's an America-hating, hate-filled, Black Lives Matter. She has been very outspoken about her feelings about America, which I knew nothing about until all this happened. Because, like most Americans, I don't follow the WNBA. I don't follow the NBA, but I certainly don't follow the WNBA, and neither do. When you look at the ratings numbers for WNBA games, the networks are pandering to the female vote by televising those games. Nobody watches them. But that being said, I don't think that we should have done anything for her. I think that she should have been left there to rot, not because she broke laws going to Russia. That kind of stuff happens all the time in various countries because of her views on America. I can't abide that. But she was swapped for a Russian arms dealer, a known Russian arms dealer, is Vicktor Bout, who is called the Merchant of Death. I had heard about him a few times over the years and didn't follow the case closely. The outcry right now is that Griner was traded for this and Griner, who's a nobody, was traded for a very high profile and a very criminal and a very dangerous person. But there was a former Marine named Paul Whelan. He's a retired Marine and was working security for a corporation over there, and had traveled to Russia and was arrested for espionage. He was tried and convicted. He was arrested in 2018, convicted and sentenced in 2020 to 16 years in a Russian prison colony, which is essentially a gulag. Griner was tried and convicted of taking drugs into Russia, sentenced to, I don't have it right in front of me now, sentenced to, I believe it was 9 years. They filed appeals, which were rejected by the Russian courts, and it was all grandstanding. Everybody who knows anything about the way these kind of things go down knows that's what was grandstanding by the Russians. And in my opinion, the Biden administration bringing her out and making a trade with such a high profile and such a dangerous criminal is grandstanding to the Black Lives Matter movement. The Black Lives Matter movement is one of Britney Griner's passions. And as anyone who knows anything about the Black Lives Matter movement, say that 5 times real fast, you know that they have done nothing for the black community as a whole. They are a leftist agenda-driven organization, and that's all they care about. Their leaders have said that they're dedicated Marxists. It has nothing to do with the black community as a whole, because most of the black people in America are not Marxists or socialists or dedicated to any kind of a cause such as that. But people are pissed on the right, and probably some people, probably some Democrats too, are pissed off that the trade wasn't made to try to get Paul Whelan out. First off, that would have done the Democrats no good. Paul Whelan is not a liberal, he's not a Democrat, and it wouldn't alter the view of conservatives to the Democrats, about the Democrats. It wouldn't alter my view, and probably no one else's, would they have done that. And the Democrats aren't going to go out of their way for anything that isn't going to benefit their agenda, that's going to further their agenda. And getting Paul Whelan out of Russia wouldn't have helped them at all. If you're a conservative, if they'd have done that, would you have voted for the Democrats in the next election? Of course you wouldn't have. One of the things that I found out and I didn't do a deep dive into this. You saw I did a couple of videos when this first hit the front pages a while back that I think we should have just let her rot, and I still feel that way. But one of the things I found out was that Donald Trump rejected an offer from the Russians to trade Paul Whelan for Vicktor Bout when he was president, and his feeling was, I'm not going to trade one person for someone who has killed so many people with his arms deals. And that sounds harsh, but I don't know. That's kind of a tough call. He said he actually said, according to what I read, that he wouldn't have traded 100 people for Vicktor Bout because Vicktor Bout is responsible for the deaths of many thousands of people. And he's got a point. I don't know the exact details. Paul Whelan, as I said, was arrested for espionage. I don't know the exact details. Maybe he really was guilty. I don't know. I really don't. All the stories that I looked at, which were, I don't know, about a half a dozen different stories, all said that it was all, pardon the pun, trumped up. But I don't think that the United States should have wasted anything on Britney Griner. Even though, had Trump still been in office, I don't think he would have made this deal. I know he wouldn't if he wasn't going to trade him for Paul Whelan. But his administration probably would still have tried to do something to get her back over just because she's an American. And even though their ideological differences are miles apart, the Republicans tend not to look at people like that as for their agendas, but rather for the fact that they're Americans. And being such a nobody, maybe the Trump administration could have worked a deal with some other Russian nobody. I'm sure we have other these people are communists. Let's be real about it. They can say what they want, but Putin is a KGB dedicated hardcore communist. He doesn't care about democracy. He doesn't care about people's rights. Everybody knows that. And these people who have been arrested in America and who are holding right now are generally of the same ilk. So who knows? All I know is that in cases like this, there is always more to it than meets the eye. And when I looked into this, when I first started, as with most news things, I didn't follow the Britney Griner case, but sometimes you just can't avoid it. You'll hear something, and I'll look at some news from over here and some news from over here. The truth is usually somewhere in the middle. It never hurts to look at both sides, but I don't know. I'm not happy with this, not so much because Paul Whelan is still there, but because we gave up such a high profile, high priority Russian for essentially an American who hates America, hates white people, hates democracy, and everything that America stands for. We should never have brought her home. Not in my opinion. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Shoot me an email at motopoet59@gmail.com. Like, share, subscribe, click on the bell if you want to be notified of future content, and we'll see you all later.